Hello and welcome to Season 2, Part 1 of The Head Coach. My name's Daniel and we are stopping early in pre-season for some big news. That's right, you've guessed it, we have had a job offer. We may have not managed to achieve promotion with Bognor Regis after a late disappointing collapse, but we look like we're still going to get promoted personally to Dover Athletic, who have come in for us from the National League. And it's only on the same money we're on now, so we might have to negotiate that a bit. But it's just a pop down the coast, so not too bad a move for us. You might be able to see below we also got offered a interview at Crusaders. They're one of the bigger sides in the Northern Irish Premier League, but unfortunately they went for this Jeff Spires in the end. Let's have a look at him. He looks quite good, to be fair, so we won't argue with that. But let's go and take this Dover approach on. If we have a quick look at the club, they finished 18th in the National League last year. They are semi-professional, but they've got a 1.5 star reputation. Let's see how they got on. They were on 54 points, so they're only 3 points away from relegation, but they've got some good players, and I'm sure we'll be able to turn them around. So let's go and see if we can eke an extra £100 or £50 out of the club, and we'll take the job offer with us. Let's go. Only a 1 year contract, which is a bit of a shame. We're going to be really ambitious. After last time, I remember with Bognor, I only went up £50 and they just accepted it. So, oh, that's halfway. That's not bad. Let's try 675 then. We have got it. We've taken a pay rise. We've got promoted to the next league without having to do it on the pitch. So let's go and have a look and see what our Dover squad looks like. Okay, so we've taken a Dover hot seat. We're going to meet the players in just a moment, but let's go through all of the obligations as we join a new club. We'll go and attend the meeting to meet the owner. All of the stock answers. Of course, we want to learn more about the club. We'll meet the journalist soon. We don't want to meet the assistant because, as we've said with the head coach, we're just going to set our director of football to do everything. My only worry is I'm pretty sure they didn't have a director of football. I think I looked just after the interview, so we'll check that in a moment. Okay, there's plenty of players on loan, but they all expire in a couple of weeks, so we're not going to worry about that one because they'll probably all disappear. No one injured, that's a good thing, we like to see that. And one player is unhappy, but they're only a youngster, and if you're 1.5 star, they don't want first team football, that's not going to happen. Let's look at our assistant manager's report, see if there's anything we're good at. A physically strong squad, that's good jumping reach. I think we already know we're going to be playing long ball football here. 4-4-2, that's always the formation in lower league. Good amount of wage budget left, we like that. And a good defence, that's quite promising actually. We don't normally have that luxury in non-league. If we can get it 2 clubs in a row, that'd be brilliant. Work rate's high as well, and first touch is pretty decent, but it looks like most of these strengths are geared towards longer ball direct football. So we may have to play that well for now. I did have a quick look at their squad before I joined, and there was one striker there that made me want to join. Quite weak technically. You can see the passing, disappointing quality. Crossing, that's probably a bit of a worry actually when we're thinking about the longer ball game. Tackling success, not great, but that's based on last season, and there's no youth prospects or good coaching at the club. But we've got some physical stats to work with, and that's all we need really. Let's have a quick look at the background of the club, just to see if there's anything in their history. Again, nothing at this level. They're a smaller club in terms of stature in the National League, but they have had some good times recently. I think they finished in the playoffs a couple of years ago, so they are a decent club. Let's have a look at the facilities. Very poor. Probably as bad, if not worse, than the ones we just came from. Fierce rivalry with Gillingham due to location. But all in all, there's nothing we don't expect here, so we'll be quite happy with that. Let's go and have a look at the squad. They're, of course, the most important bit. We won't worry about the loanees who look like the stars at the top because, let's be honest, they're not going to be here, most of them, so we'll just put them in ability order and see if we've got any stars. I guess the biggest problem is that most of the star players are the ones who are going to be leaving us in a couple of weeks. I don't know if our director of football or chairman, who will ever be in charge, will do anything about that. Now, there is one standout star in this team, which is Mitch Brundle. He is wanted by another club, which is a bit of worrying. It's my beloved Luton Town. So he must be good if they want him in the Football League. So let's have a look at him. He's a 23-year-old central midfielder. 4-star current ability and 4-star potential. He looks very good at this level and is a solid base. And the fact that he's a supporting ball-winning midfielder would suggest we could play the same formation as we were at Bognor Regis. And the other one, the reason I wanted to come was the striker Ryan Bird. He's a 30-year-old target man, and you can see he's good in the air. He's just one of those old-fashioned big lumps, 6'4". Hit it up to him, and if he gets a header, he'll score. Hopefully, he'll be as good as Stefan Ljubicic at that in this level. You can see in the past he's played in the Football League plenty of times for Yeovil, Hartlepool, Cambridge, Pompey. He's played for a few teams, Newport as recently as the year before last. So we have got a base of decent players here, but I don't think with how it stands at the moment we're going to be challenging for promotion. There aren't really any other standouts, so what we'll do is we'll play through our pre-season. We'll come back on the first day of the season to see if our director of football, who we haven't yet got one, so we will get our chairman in charge of that. If we have a look at the quick coaching staff now, we'll come back for our first game of the season. Hopefully our chairman will have got us a director of football. We'll have had a summer full of transfers and we'll be able to get into the first game of the season with a hope of doing well in our new role in the National League. Okay, welcome back to the first National League game of the season. We're away against Gateshead, who obviously featured in our last episode in the FA Trophy final for Bognor as well. Back-to-back games against Gateshead, but for different clubs in different seasons and different competitions. If we have a quick look at the match preview, you can see that we're slight underdogs, but it's a fairly even game, so we will be hopeful of getting a result in our first game. But before all that, I know what we really want to see is if we've got a director of football and what he's done. So let's go and look at the staff. I can confirm we have got a director of football. His name is Tim Harris. He is a 58-year-old who was formerly the manager at Redditch. He's great at judging player ability by this level, but his potential is poor. So we've only got him on the senior squad at the moment. But he has appointed as our head of youth development John Sutton, who used to be a striker at Motherwell. I remember him on this game a few years ago. But he's our head of youth development. He's got great judging player ability and potential. And to be fair, he looks a far better head of youth development than this level. But we've put him in charge of recruiting young players because he's got that potential ability judgment. So hopefully we will be successful in the window as a result of those two signings. We have had a quite quiet window, unfortunately. We'd only lost a few players, but we haven't really strengthened the squad much. So let's go and look at what's been done. You can see there is potentially one familiar face coming in. Our director of football has put in a loan bid for Stefan Lubicic, who was a star last year. It would work for us because we've only got two strikers at the moment and we're playing a 4-4-2. We also had a bid for Josh Taylor turned down. He rejected contract terms as his contract was running out at his previous club, Sutton United, and he's now gone to Morecambe, I think. We also had Luke Wanadio on trial that the director of football again had bought in just by coincidence. So I'm not sure what happened with that, but nothing's come of it as of yet. But we're going to look at the transfer history. We'll just first look to see if we had any players that were released. We did. Fazakali was in the reserves anyway. He was an older player. Cadell Daniel was quite a good player. We were hoping to keep hold of him, but the director of football didn't want to keep him on board, mainly for his versatility. I would have liked him, but it wasn't to be. And we're now left with no cover on the left wing. And we also lost Liam Bellamy, who was one of our star central midfielders. He's played 88 times for the club, but he just rejected a new contract. I saw the director of football did offer him one. But again, we've lost out there and we've struggled to replace these players. So it has been a tough summer. That's what the beauty of this head coach save is. We're not in charge of transfers or contracts. We get what we're given and we have to make it work. So if we go and have a quick look at all of the transfers we've bought in, we also loaned out a couple of backup players. Our director of football loaned out this defensive midfielder. It's a good decision. It wouldn't have mattered. He wouldn't have fit into our system and he's now out for 9 months anyway. So we've just saved on the wages basically. It was also one of our backup strikers, Jamie Allen. He's not very good. He's not good enough for this level, as proven by the fact that he's gone to Kettering, who are in the league below. We haven't replaced him. That's the biggest problem. We've still only got the two strikers, but he certainly wouldn't be good enough. And this guy, Dean Conte, had already gone before we joined the club, so we won't worry about that. At the moment, we've only got 4 new signings to bring you. So first of all is a familiar name, is Jake Hyde. Sure, he used to play for Barnet as a target man. He did, and York, Stevenage, and a couple of others at that point as well. He's a 28-year-old. The only problem is he's also a target man, like Ryan Bird, our star man up front beforehand. He's not very good mentally, but he's decent physically, and again, he's a big lump in the air. So hopefully, if we can get enough high crosses into the box, we'll score some goals. Moving on, we've got Shiloh Tracy, I think it is. He's a right wing-back, winger and midfielder. He's 3-star current ability, 5-star potential. He was released by Tottenham. He's not brilliant, he's okay for this level, but we have no other options on the right. So I can see why our director of football signed him as we were moving on through the window. But hopefully he will bring on someone better later on. I'm quite surprised he didn't bring Wanadio in actually, because he looks a bit better than him. Moving on to Connor Coventry. He's the first of our centre midfielders in to replace our released players, Liam Bellamy in particular. He's another one who can play as a ball-winning midfielder or as a defensive central midfielder, the two that we've used as a combination at Bognor Regis. He's again 3-star current ability, 5-star potential. He's okay, but realistically, if we're hoping to move up from 18th last year, this isn't the sort of player that's going to do it for us. He is on a very low level contract though, and he's only 18 years old, so hopefully he can improve quickly. Lastly, we've got Matthew Casey. We have, after our partnership with Portsmouth at Bognor Regis last year, our chairman decided that obviously we had to have some familiarity, so that's what we've got again. And we've got Matthew Casey, an 18-year-old centre half on loan. He's probably the third best at the club at the moment, but he's 3-star current ability, 5-star potential, and again, a very solid backup and can just about play on the right if we need some help there as well. But we are looking to bring in a couple more additions because we haven't quite got enough with what we've got there. So let's go and look at the squad for the first game of the season, and we'll get into this game against Gateshead. So in goal today we have Mitch Walker, who was here last summer. He was running out of contract, but our director of football kept him on board. We've got a back four of Passley, Parry, Galifiuco and Hammerlinen, whose loan was extended. The other three have all gone back, but Nico Hammerlinen looks a cracking player at left back. He's an attacking fullback, and we're hoping for big things from him this year. As long as he doesn't get called up to the Finland under-21s every international break, which I fear may happen. In midfield, we've got Shiloh Tracy, the new signing. We've got Mitch Brundle, Connor Coventry, another new boy, and Mitchell Pinnock on the left. And up front, we've got the target man combination of Ryan Bird and Jake Hyde, but with Bird playing in a more advanced role. I haven't picked a substitutes bench yet. As a point I can show you, we've got 4 players who are capable of going on the bench here. So that is our first team squad, these 15 players. We're going to have to dip into the under-23s just to see what we've got. There's a young striker winger there who's decent, so we're going to put him on. But to put it into perspective, this is our next best striker after the front two we're playing. A 2-star 23-year-old striker who hasn't really got any technical ability whatsoever. So you can see why Lubicic would be such an essential signing if he would come in. But again, we have no impact on that, so let's not complain at the moment. Let's get into the game now we've met the team. They're all lacking match fitness, it's awful. The pre-season training didn't work at all. We'll give Casey a squad number there. And we're playing with a very similar structure to we did at Bognor Regis, a standard structured formation. We've got the 4-4-2 with the central midfielder on defend and the ball-winning midfielder. And we're just going to hope that the quick wingers and the pace and the height up front will get us a few goals. We're going to struggle against a 4-2-3-1, I've no doubt. We're going to give it a go. We're just going to encourage the lads. It's our first competitive game for Dover. And let's be honest, all we've got to do is stay up here. The pre-season prediction from the club was to finish 18th in the National League. And we were also predicted by the board to avoid relegation, but I chose to turn that up to mid-table finish to give our director of football a bit more budget. And lo and behold, he hasn't used it and hasn't brought me anyone useful. So that's probably the last time I'll make that mistake. We told the team we wanted to finish in mid-table as well, and they all seemed happy enough. So I've just got to hope that a lot of the National League sides are worse than I think they're going to be. But here Gateshead come with an early attack, and it's been cleared away by Parry to the big man Bird. Finds the other one in Jake Hyde, who's through on goal. He beats his man, but he's put it wide from the edge of the box. That was a good chance. First blood of the attacking play does go to us, and we have had a great chance to take the lead. They're a clear-cut chance already. But the territory's definitely been for Gateshead so far. They're coming forward again. And how many times are we going to talk about that 2 banks of 4 at all the clubs we go to as they head a shot over the bar from the edge of the box? We're 10 minutes in, we're not too disappointed with the start, but we wouldn't like to be dominated in possession too much here, especially at 72% that they've had so far. They've had another shot from the edge which has gone over. It's starting to become a bit of concern that we're not closing them down quicker. But hopefully we can hang on and grow into the game as we did so often last year at our first club, Bognor Regis. And they've had another long-range strike which has gone wide of the mark. We're not looking too confident in possession. We did mention before that one of our starters in midfield, Connor Coventry, he wasn't the best player. But he's one of only 2 central midfielders that are here and fit. As we've seen, the bench is a goalkeeper, 3 defenders and a reserve striker. So if we can get in a midfielder and a striker, even if it was to be Lubicic and Wanadio, that would make such a difference this season. We are really short in central midfield. I don't know if that's just a problem in game at the moment because we had that problem at Bognor last year for so long. If we could have got Josh Taylor as well, that would have been great, but our director of football wasn't able to pull that one off, probably offered him a pathetic contract. But here is Ryan Bird. Can we get a counter-attack on? Passley hits it long and the highlight ends, so I'm guessing not. It's been quite worrying this start, to be honest, but we are coming forward now. It's been a straight challenge on Bird, and they're going to bring it away again, and they just look like they've got so much space and time. They're coming across the halfway line here, and I'll have no doubt that this will lead to another chance on goal. They've put in an early cross which has been intercepted. Here's Hammerline and the one Loney we were able to keep from last year, but it's cleared straight away again. And what I am really surprised about with these two big men is that we're not holding the ball up at all well. I know the balls up to them haven't been good as Shepherd's through for Gateshead, but his shot's blocked. We bring it away with Tracy, who goes long. Bird wins the flick on, but I guess neither of them have got much pace. Brundle with a free kick. Oh, that was a good effort, and Tracy's got the rebound, but he's lost the ball. Well, it's good to see we've got some set piece taking ability. We did highlight Brundle as soon as we joined the club as the star man, and it looks like that's going to be the case, to be brutally honest. We're half an hour in, we are growing into it a bit. We've had more shots on target than them, but the Brundle free kick was from long range, so I don't know if we can count them as clear chances. Here they come forward on the left again. It's been intercepted through to York, who shoots, but it's just wide for a goal kick. I can't see us finishing in a promotion push this season. We haven't strengthened in the way I would have liked. We have still got quite a bit of wage budget, over £1,000 a week. I think nearly £1,500. There's even a little bit of transfer budget, around 20,000 left. But here they come again. It's O'Donnell with the cross and hammer line and heads away. If we could just bring in, maybe not a load of stars, but if we could get that Lubicic loan in and just bring in one quality midfielder in the middle, just to buff out the squad a bit, we probably have a good chance of moving into that top half. But as it is, I think mid-table's the limit for us at the moment, and I'd be very surprised if we achieve more than that. But there's still plenty of time to go. Obviously, the National League window's open till March all the way through. So with our new adapted affiliate club with Portsmouth, hopefully we can get a couple of loans from them on top of Casey, who we got in. And maybe we'll be able to push from there. But at the moment, it doesn't look particularly promising. We look like we've got the same problem going forward as we did at Bognor at the start, and we just haven't got the replacements. We've only got defenders and reserves on the bench. So I don't think we're going to be able to change much, but we're going to encourage them. If we can get a draw away to the side that finished 6th in the National League last season, we'll certainly be happy with that on our first day, to be honest. Brundle with a long ball from the centre circle, but it's been back to the keeper. These two strikers, they really need someone quick up there because it's not working. I know Lubicic is a big man and was playing as a target man for us last year, but he is quick. He's still got, I think, about 13 for pace he's got, so he would be able to get in behind, which would make a bit of a difference here. As they come forward again on the edge of the box, it's Barrow who's looked a danger man for them. They've got it out to the right and they're going to get the cross in. Parry heads away, but it's only fallen to them again and they've put it wide. That looked a good chance, to be honest. They're dominating the shots, 11-3. They have only had one on target, but that's more down to poor quality rather than a lack of chances created. And here they are again with the ball falling at the edge of the box. We look a bit slower to close down. I don't know if that's just the pre-season fitness or if it is that we're not a good side. I don't know which one it'll be. I'm sure it'll become clear soon as they have another long shot that goes high and wide. We're looking a little bit clumsy at the start of this second half. They've dominated the play. They're dominating possession past the 60% mark again as we head away. Another cross into the 6-yard box. Pinnock clears long, but there's just no sticking point up there. The clearances aren't going to the two strikers and they haven't got the mobility to get to anything wider of them. Tracy back to Pasley. Parry. Pasley again. Can we build a nice attack from here? Tracy goes long, but it's straight at the centre half again. And neither of the strikers are winning headers. Jake Hyde's had an awful game on his debut. And I might just bring on the quick reserve lad and see if he'll get through as an advance forward. We'll give Bird the chance to shine in his proper position as they have another corner which Hyde heads away. It's fallen to them on the edge of the box, and that Greenwood, every time it's fallen to him, he's just struck it. And it's always been blocked or high and wide. I don't know why he keeps going for it. But hopefully none of them hit the target as their cross finds York and it's cleared away again. We are hanging on for dear life at the moment. We look absolutely diabolical in the front end of the pitch. We've got no replacements to come on in the front six. And I think this is going to be a really difficult half an hour for us. We've got a goal kick. Can we win a flick on for the first time? No, we can't. That Vasella's dominated both our centre forwards in the air. We have won it back in the right back area, and can Brundle produce some magic? He finds Hyde to feet this time. He gets it to Ryan Bird, but it's cleared away again. They can't hold the ball up. It's becoming so frustrating to have these two big, strong strikers, and they're just losing possession and losing headers every time. And here Gateshead build a nice attack again, but it's fallen apart towards the end. Bird finds Hyde this time. Can we break again? He's lost it to Vazelle again, and I'm starting to get a bit frustrated now. We're going to take him off in a minute, and it's gone through to O'Donnell, and just to compound the misery, he's gone and scored, the former Luton youth youngster. And we're 1-0 down, and we can't say we deserve anything else. They've had 17 shots against us, which is pretty appalling, to be honest. We're going to take Jake Hyde off because he's been absolutely useless. We'd highlighted him as quite a good signing, but if we do manage to get Lubicic in, it will be him that's coming out the side. So we're going to bring on the reserve, Show Silver. He's no good in any of these roles, but he is a bit quicker than the others. So with his pace of 13, we're just going to put him as the advance forward and see if it works. Ryan Bird will drop into the target man role. Have we got anyone else we can bring on? We haven't really. We've got a left back in Ilasami, so we're going to bring him on for Pinnock, and we're going to push Hammerlinen forward for his abilities. I don't know if it'll work. Putting a defender into midfield doesn't seem like a strong option. But our assistant manager, God, the words aren't happening today again. But the assistant manager recommended that we play him there, and you can see he can cross. He's got a bit of pace and he can dribble, and he looks a better attacking player than defensive. So we'll give those two a go. I'd like to ideally take Coventry off because he's been rubbish as well on his debut. But we haven't got anyone we can put in centre midfield, not at all. I think I might have a quick look actually. This Galifiuca, I'm sure he could play in midfield. I'm going to check that one out in a minute before we make our third sub. But with 20 minutes to go, we're not having any of the attacking play in this second half. I don't even think we've had an attacking highlight since the break. So I don't know how we're intending to get back into this game. We might go long for the last 10 minutes, but it hasn't worked this game. This Vassell's just won every header against us. Gateshead have got the goal kick again, and will they build another attack? It's fallen to Hammerlinen on the left wing. Coventry goes through, but Vassell just mops up easily again. We've been so poor up front. Can Brundle build a surprise attack here? Tracy, could he take him on at the left back position? He can't. He's just hit it straight at him. And there is an awful lot of work to do with this side because I am already starting to regret my move as it goes straight over the tops of York. And it's not even the fact that we're not attacking well. They're getting in so easily in their own attacking third. We just look weak all over the pitch. Let's take a look at the last sub then. We're going to go to the tactics. What can we do now? We'll go to the proper tactics screen, the good old fashioned, so we can have a look at Galifiuco and see he has got the centre midfielder highlight there. So I'm just going to have a look at him to see what he can do in there. Ball winning or central midfielder. So we're going to put him into midfield. We're going to take Connor Coventry off, who has been absolutely awful. He's a terrible signing by the looks of it. And we'll bring on the young loanee Casey just to give him a go. He can't be any worse than what we've got on the pitch already, can he? So with 15 minutes to go, we are going to try and get back into the game. We're going to go direct in 5 minutes' time. I don't think it's going to work. We haven't looked like scoring. Gateshead have been by far the better side. The one saving grace for me to put into perspective is they did finish in the playoffs last year. They did win the FA Trophy, albeit against us in the Conference South with Bognor in the final. But they did win that trophy as well, and they've just scored a second. Oh, there's not a saving grace anymore. But the fact they've been so much better is the worry for us. There's no point going attacking now because we're not going to get back into it from 2-0. And it's going to end in disappointment. We really need our director of football to spend the rest of that money, whether it be 2 quality signings or just 3 or 4 squad players so we've got options, because this isn't good enough. The 3 loanees we've lost, 2 of them were absolutely class 4.5 star players, and we've only replaced them with either the backup options behind them at the time, or in the case of like Casey, for example, at centre-half, a 3-star player, and Coventry as well, actually. So we've weakened the squad from last year. And if finishing 18th was what they expected last season, that proves we're going to be in a bit of trouble last year. Because if you finish 18th and weaken your squad, you might drop those 3 places into the relegation dogfight. We've got the cross in, and our first shot of the second half is from Parry's head, but it is straight at the keeper. And the fact that that's the only shot we've had in this half is pretty disturbing. They've crossed again, and they've gone 3-0 up. The 2 wingers have just absolutely outclassed us. We've been absolutely battered. O'Donnell scored twice. They've caused problem on the right with Greenwood as well, and this is really depressing, this game. We have got a lot of work to do. I don't know if it's the formation. I can't really change it because I can't go to any formation with 3 in midfield because we haven't got 3 midfielders. I can't go to any formation with wing-backs and wide men because I don't have that many wide men. And I can't go to any formations with 3 up front, or a number 10 because I haven't got any of them either. I can't really do more than I'm doing at the moment, but I'm thinking I may have made a mistake in leaving Bognor Regis. It's one in real life we would have accepted. It's a pay rise, it's a league promotion, and it's going to increase our reputation, but we just have to try and get ahead and then jump ship here because this is not going to be one we're going to enjoy by the looks of it. I know I've spoken too soon before. We did have 2 draws at the start of last season with Bognor and had a good season, but we haven't got the players here, and that is it. It's 3-0. We never looked like winning, we never looked like scoring, and we were absolutely diabolical. It was an appalling performance, and I think that might be one of the worst starts to the season I've had in a long time. Let's go and look and see what they've said about the game. I can't imagine any of it will be pretty. And there we go. We're going to have to scroll to see where we are in the league, which tells you how bad it's been. We're third bottom as it stands. Oh, it's not been a good start. JJ O'Donnell, as you'd expect, was man of the match. We were absolutely awful. I'm running out of confidence very quickly for this. The show Silver, the reserve who we bought on, happens to be an 11-hour goal drought, just to make things even better. Tracy made his professional debut. Jake Hyde made his Dover debut, and Connor Coventry made his Dover debut. Lubacic's loan offer has been accepted, so we'll see what happens with him. That will be all from this episode though. If you have enjoyed it, please put a thumbs up on the video. Subscribe to the channel for regular content from the head coach every Monday to Thursday at 4:30 PM, as well as other content from FM Touch and a couple of other games. Thank you very much for watching, and hopefully I'll see you tomorrow for the next instalment with Dover.